This video segment is brought to you by Credit Grid, your source for business credit knowledge. In this video, we'll learn about business foundations, understanding the language of business. Let's review some financial terms. A budget, first of all, is simply a plan for managing income and expenses by operating division or activity for a particular period of time. Gross income. Now, gross income is the total amount of income earned before any costs are paid versus net income, which is the amount of income that is left after all costs are paid, including taxes. Fixed costs are those costs which usually do not vary in amount and must be paid on a regular basis no matter what happens to your production rate, either rising or falling. Variable costs, however, are those costs which do rise and fall directly with productive effort. Examples would be the cost of raw materials to make your goods. Cash flow is the measure of the actual cash money you receive and the actual cash payments that you make. An important part of handling money is the idea of delayed gratification and remembering the 3 R's, which is focus on your reality, know what that is, being responsible, and then showing restraint and saving for what you want the most. Let's talk about some basic business literacy terms. One of these is the idea of marketing. Marketing is the process of making goods available to buyers in a way that encourages people to buy more of them. Marketing is the highest level analysis of that process and has subset activities, including the idea of actual advertising. Advertising is a specific activity within the marketing effort. Advertising is the messaging of information about price and features and benefits to consumers along media channel lines, whether that be television, radio, print, or the internet, for example. Sales strategies are another part of the marketing effort, and they include positioning the messaging, promotions, and product among competitor brands in order to earn the greatest returns possible. An issue related to marketing in establishing the price of the good is the idea of the general inflation rate, which is the sustained increase in the general price level of goods and services in the nation, region, state, or city. Now, another issue related to these efforts is the idea of opportunity cost, which is what do you give up in order to get something that you want? It implies both monetary as well as non-monetary costs. Let's continue our review of business basics. Resources are sometimes referred to as inputs. They are those things that you use to make your final good or service. This includes such things as raw materials, which are sometimes natural resources, human resources, technological inputs, or other supplies that you use to create your final good or service. A good is something that you can see, touch, smell, or taste, versus a service is simply something that you can do for others, that they are willing to pay for. When you have either a good or service completed, you bring it to the market to sell it. When you are on the sales side of the market, you are on the supply side of the market. You, along with all the other businesses that are trying to sell what it is that they have made. The demand side comes from those who are desiring to purchase those goods or services. The interaction between supply and demand determines the relative scarcity of the good, and it is the relative scarcity of the good that then determines the price, that is, the amount that you have to pay in order to purchase that good or service. Effective advertising appeals link a solution to problems in the minds of the consumer. A status appeal is when you associate the product use with those who have status and who are successful. A hero appeal or hero endorsement associates the use of a product with a well-known person. A sexual attraction appeal associates the use of a product with increased sexual appeal and identity. Entertainment appeals associate the product with entertainment and feelings of enjoyment. Regardless of the type of appeal, advertising is most effective when it succeeds. There are different ways to characterize these types of appeals. One of them is the idea of linkage with intelligence, which associates the product with smart people who can't be fooled by gimmicks, or independence associates the product with people who can think and act for themselves. On the other hand, oftentimes in advertising, we use the idea of an unfinished comparison, which is that it works better than brand X, Y, or Z competitor. Sometimes advertising is purely informational, which is a simple, direct information to help the customers make their decisions. Another form of advertising techniques is the idea of peer approval. It associates the product with friendship, relationships, and acceptance. Once you understand the idea of advertising, then we need to go in toward sales techniques. Sales techniques are those processes that you engage in to help then increase sales interest. Such things as issuing guarantees, a lifetime guarantee, satisfaction guarantee, etc. Another interesting way to pursue sales is actually to create a sense of scarcity around the product. Sometimes this is artificially created on purpose, which then creates a sense of urgency to then line up and buy the product while the supply is limited. Another one is a perceptual contrast. The merchant presents an undesirable or inferior option to make their option look superior. Another one would be a scientific or numerical claim. 9 out of 10 customers choose or prefer, etc. Another strategy that is sometimes pursued is something called an opt-out pre-sale system, which is that the consumer signs up for automatic delivery and the sale occurs unless they actually take the steps to opt out of the shipment and process. Regardless of the marketing strategies and advertising systems that you use, it's important to proceed with honesty and integrity. Entities such as the Better Business Bureau, the Food and Drug Administration, Consumer Product Safety Commission, Federal Trade Commission, and the Bureau of Consumer Protection are out to make sure that businesses act ethically and responsibly with respect to their consumers. Regardless of what you choose in managing your finances, managing your marketing and advertising processes, it's important that you stay focused on the most important thing, which is profits. You are in the business to maximize your profits, not just increase sales. Running specials, issuing coupons, buying advertising, giving away free samples, offering rebates, lowering the price lower than you need to, etc. All of those things have costs and need to be evaluated against the amount of additional revenue that they bring in. So, it's important that you understand that your objective is to maximize profits, not just sales, and that you should understand very clearly that what you can charge is customers' willingness to pay, and then manage to that number. Thank you very much for watching this video. This video is brought to you by Credit Grid, your source for business credit knowledge.